From the Post-Millennial, Brooklyn inmates dub Luigi Mangione ambassador as his popularity behind bars grows. When people get there and they don't know what's going on, he's kind of the one who welcomes them, allays their fears, and shows them the ropes. Well, he's been there for what, 8 months? 9 months?
Trying to make this guy Andy Dufresne.
Yeah, right? Defense attorneys familiar with life inside MDC say his newfound ambassador status isn't surprising. When you murder somebody, it's a high-profile case, you automatically get a certain status in jail. This is what they're doing. They're lionizing this guy to make him a hero when he gets out. Or in the event, I wouldn't be surprised, guys. I'm not predicting this is going to happen or is even likely, but I wouldn't be surprised if there is a terror raid on the MDC breaking him out in the event we go into full-scale armed conflict of some sort.
That's interesting. It's a good idea for the right group.
The far-left terrorists?
Yeah, they have to find the right group.
Would you support that?
The far-left detonating a bomb at a correctional facility to free an assassin?
Yeah, would you support?
No, I would not. I wouldn't support that.
I just want to know.
I wouldn't.
Ian, how would you feel about that? Would you be pro or anti?
Understanding the idea to counter the action.
All right,
so yes and no.
Okay, are you pro or anti that?
Yeah, I would not want to be in the neighborhood.
Okay, yeah, fair.
I feel like Ian's ideal government is with a bunch of criminals running around, just like stealing everyone's stuff.
No, but who controls the military? It's as little government as possible, but who controls the military? That's what I always keep asking.
Ian, if you ever got your government, I would walk in and take your stuff with a smile on my face.
Not if there's a military and police. I mean, it's
I
still
control
the
the
same
military.
thing. Less government. Like
I control
we
the
don't
military.
need. The problem with our representatives is they get bought out and bribed. So if we could somehow better represent ourselves into the state, but who runs the military? It's always a small group of dudes. Like, can we get away from that? I don't.
I do believe this idea of all our politicians are bribed is naivete.
Not all of them, but I know
none of
what I
them.
mean. They get donations.
It's like insider trading and stuff.
Okay, let me put it like this
for their campaign.
There are members of Congress in Texas who were voting against Trump's policies on certain issues related to military-industrial complex funding. And people said, they're bought up by the corporations, man, it proves it. Why won't they vote for Trump? And it's because in their district, a lot of people's salaries came from these companies. And if they voted to strip funding from these companies that manufacture weapons or utilities, these people would not vote for them. It wasn't that they were bribed, it's that they were literally representing their district.
We got them by the balls. The corporations, they've gripped their service.
It's a lie.
Well, the corporations, they're embedded. Now they serve the corp.
This is the reality of our political system. A member of Congress in an area that produces oil will always vote for oil because they represent their district.
That's right, yeah.
The wind farm jurisdiction goes, that person's bought up by the oil industry.
And if there's a data center, they serve big tech.
That's right. The reason why congressional approval ratings are so low is because everybody's rating every other member of Congress. But when you look at the district, the member of Congress usually has a very high approval rating.
Well, this is why this is always hilarious to me whenever gun control comes up. And it hasn't come up in the same way for a while because the left knows that maybe
it's not too popular anymore.
Read the room. But they always go like, well, gun control isn't passed because these people are bought and paid for by the NRA.
Right,
it's like,
right.
dude, the NRA is not even close to like one of the top spenders in politics, but also, no, they're actually just American. The reason Americans are very pro-gun is because it's written in our Constitution and part of our country's DNA, not because the NRA pays everybody off.
That was funny, that point you were making the other day. I think you were making the other day about
probably
about Devin went down to Georgia.
Oh, yeah. That didn't come from me originally, though, but I love that bit. There was a tweet that went viral where someone said The Devil Went Down to Georgia is such a uniquely American song because in any other culture, the story of someone challenging the devil to a contest would end in him losing. But like in The Devil Went Down to Georgia, he actually beats the devil at the fiddle playing.
Bro, it's just some random hillbilly playing the fiddle. Like, America's so great, the devil can't even get... And, well, actually, the basis of the story is funny. The devil was far behind, and he needed to make a deal, and he couldn't even best some random yokel with the fiddle. American hubris.
Pro-God. The devil's struggling.
Rogue hubris, that's true. He used the power of God to defeat the devil.
Okay.
Yes, but wouldn't a solid gold fiddle sound terrible and weigh thousands of pounds?
Weigh a lot and sound crummy, that's right. Classic Futurama.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one.
You need like.
Do you guys think Mangione's going to get out?
Yes.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why?
Because we are headed towards a civil war, and Luigi Mangione is being lionized by the left to be a leader and hero for them.
You think like it'll get a pardon or something?
No, I think they'll... Well, he'll get out in a variety of ways. He's not going to get convicted in a liberal jurisdiction, that's for sure.
Didn't he? I mean,
He's going to be on the stand, and he's going to look at the jury, and he's going to say outright, if you think the healthcare industry is doing good and doing right, then by all means convict me. Thank you and have a nice day. And they're going to go, he's free to go.
Yeah.
I don't. Maybe if they're stupid, but like,
Well, they are.
doing
Bro,
right.
people's motivations are not this high class, intelligent, logical system.
You think they'll get manipulated?
Have you ever been on a jury?
No.
It is a real mind-blowing experience.
I did like a practice jury run for this law firm once, but what did you do? Did you do jury?
Yeah, I did jury in L.A. a couple times.
What was it like?
It's spooky because the level of discussion that goes on between the jurors is like, you want to run screaming from the room.
Like,
Why is it spooky?
Yeah,
They're
what are
talking
they
about
saying?
ghosts and stuff.
Yeah, but they don't get A, B, or C. They don't get anything. I mean, they didn't hear a word that was said. They don't hear it. They're calling the judge all the time to repeat what everybody already knew, and then they still don't understand it when they bring it in.
So they don't listen, and then they only remember how they felt.
Well, they may listen, but they don't hear. I mean,
defense-
I can't say whether they were listening because they have to be in their head, but they certainly don't grasp it.
He's pleaded not guilty, I believe, correct?
I've heard that.
I imagine what the defense may try doing. It's going to be tough. The judge won't let them. If they try and go for jury nullification and any overt sense, the judge is going to shut it down. Unless it's a judge in a liberal district, then they'll just be like, well, I'm going to allow it. And the defense need only say to each members of the jury, I want you to think back to any time you were injured, sick, and had to use health insurance and what the health insurance company said to you over the phone. Thank you. Okay, we rest our case.
If that was their argument, then the Federal Reserve, you would argue, is the same as these health insurance companies.
Nobody calls the Federal Reserve and gets pissed off. Everybody gets sick and calls their insurance company, and they get told no. And they're mad.
But that argument in the future could be made about the Federal Reserve for bankrupting things and be like, if you're angry about the way they bankrupted our system.
You're making a false nonsense.
I think once the system's
more
bankrupt,
emotional.
we're not like going to court over it.
Not a single American.
I mean, if a guy killed a
Ian,
guy at Federal
not
Reserve.
a single working class American calls the Federal Reserve to deal with money issues. Not once, not ever. They don't even know what it is.
Had to.
Yeah.
What if you had?
It was like they just had a bunch of Dave
what are they
Ramsey
gonna
sitting
say?
there like listening to you talk about your finances. They're like,
Then I guess a banking CEO is
Who are they going to talk to?
banking CEO. Like, if it would, they could
Anyway,
use that same
we're
argument
talking
against-
about the healthcare system. So back to that.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think you're right. Unfortunately, they probably could try something like that where they put the healthcare system on trial.
Oh, that's definitely what they're going to do.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's what he does.
And this is
what he
also
did.
because unfortunately, modern people lack the nuance to understand that someone can do something bad, and that doesn't mean that it's okay to murder them. So this is a big part of how war propaganda works nowadays too, where in order to go to a war with a country, there's a lot of considerations, not just whether they're doing something wrong, but is this a lasting and serious, grave injustice? Is this something you can actually realistically defeat? Is there a reasonable prospect of victory? Will you do more harm than good by entering? We don't ask any of those. Will we be able to do this without targeting a bunch of civilians?
And 6.
And then,
Is it fun?
oh, is it fun? Of course, the number 6 one is this fun? Is everyone going to have a fun time?
It's usually fun.
But there's all these questions you're supposed to ask. The only question that gets asked is, well, are there bad guys? Well, if there's bad guys, then we got to go do it. It's like, that's not how you do a moral calculation like that. And so similarly, the healthcare system has a lot of problems. I don't disagree. That doesn't mean you go around murdering people who are participating in the system.
I swear that you're right. And the good guy, bad guy, stupid dichotomy, fake thing from the superhero movies and from winning and losing and like evil, good. It's so terrifying to me that you can get people into lizard brain thinking they're doing something right by killing evil.
What if we created a new government where if you wanted to vote, you had to pass some sort of intelligence test. But it wasn't a test that was administered. It's like there's a meritocratic threshold that once you cross, you then qualify for voting and governance.
Like getting 10,000 subscribers.
So here's what happens.
It would be something meritocratic based on your ability to articulate a
Script into GPT.
No, a political position that makes sense and is relevant to the system at play.
Here's the base level before we even begin to question you, is we ask how you'd feel if you didn't have breakfast this morning. And if you can't deal with that hypothetical,
yesterday.
and then if your answer is like, well, I would feel hungry and also I'm currently rotating a 3D apple in my head, then they're like, you get like 12 votes, dude. You're way up there.
And then Ian comes in and goes, I'm not just rotating the apple. I've dissected it into 128 unique pieces, and each are spinning. Now I've analyzed them down to the quantum level, and they're like, wow, this guy, right this way, and they bring him to a padded room.
You know, I think
how I think.
when I think about that, I say, "Whoa, that's interesting." But you know, I wonder if the result would be better.
Yeah.
If
The
it's done
result
right,
I think when, you know what we should do?
qualify all these people with it.
Okay, wait. Better idea. Everybody can vote, but we will have placed strategically around the country secret, I guess auditors. And then if you're like that woman the other day who walks up to the Zoran guy and says, "Wait, that can't be real. He doesn't want to tax white people." And they go, "He does." "No, this is wrong." He goes, "Wait, sorry, ma'am, I'm an auditor. Your voter ID. You can't vote anymore."
spoke outside the system, miss.
No, what happens is you go on the whatever podcast. And while you're on the whatever podcast, they go, "This person can't vote. This person's stupid. This person's stupid."
That's actually the test is if you can't beat a 20-year-old e-girl in a debate, you don't get to vote anymore.
That's a 20-year-old e-girl.
Did you see the video? Did you see the video where she was like, "Name 3 countries"?
Yeah.
And the one's like, "I can't."
Is that North
She
Africa?
said, what did she say? Italy, China, France. And she goes, "You can't repeat Italy." And she goes, "I don't know." And she's like, "What's above us?" And she goes, "I don't know."
What country
Canada.
are we in? She
Yeah,
was like,
right.
United
And then she
States.
goes, "What's below us?" And she goes, "Alaska."
Europe.
Europe. No. And then when they go, "It's Mexico," she goes, "But isn't Mexico to the side?"
Yeah.
No voting
about-
for you.
Well, actually, no, she's not wrong because depending on how you tilt the Earth, right? Like,
correct. It's all a matter of perspective.
It's
Oh,
actually
so
on
it
this
depends
side,
on
yeah.
your perspective of where you're sitting.
I will say this aligns with what you're saying
Where
about,
in the universe are you?
about juries, man. How just I live in kind of a bubble assuming people are not ignorant, that they all know.
Oh no! I mean, also, I was in 2 different kinds of juries. I was on a criminal case and a business case. Now, a business case is spookier because they don't understand anything about how businesses work.
Oh my gosh.
So this is your way, and there's millions of dollars of lawsuits going on, and you're sitting there and you're going, "What is going on here?" I mean, you're wondering what process you're involved with here.
Do you think
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.